Hello, and welcome to our video on Ashwa Old Coins. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar, the 2010 James Buchanan dollar, and the 1994 dime, with details about their history, design, and significance. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar is one of the most significant coins in the history of U.S. currency, marking a turning point in both coin design and production. This coin was introduced during a period of transition in U.S. coinage as the country faced economic changes and the demand for silver began to wane. The 1971 coin, with its distinctive features, reflects a blend of historical symbolism and modern minting technology. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964, shortly after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was initially introduced as a tribute to the fallen president, and it replaced the Benjamin Franklin half dollar, which had been in circulation since 1948. The decision to honor Kennedy with a coin was largely driven by public demand and the desire to memorialize the nation's young, charismatic leader. In its initial years, the Kennedy half dollar was struck in 90% silver, but due to the rising cost of silver and the scarcity of the metal, the composition of the coin was altered in 1965. Beginning that year, the Kennedy half dollar was made with a copper-nickel clad composition, with a composition of 40% silver until 1970. However, by 1971, the U.S. Mint made the decision to eliminate silver entirely from the half dollar, marking the beginning of the copper-nickel clad composition that continues today. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar retains the same design elements introduced in 1964. On the obverse front of the coin, the portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, is featured. Kennedy's face is shown in a left-facing profile, and the design is widely considered a dignified and powerful image of the late president. Above the portrait are the words "Liberty," and below it, the date 1971. Surrounding the edge is the inscription, "In God We Trust." On the reverse back of the coin, the design, created by Frank Gasparo, shows the emblem of the United States, the bald eagle with a shield, holding an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other. Above the eagle is the phrase, "United States of America," and below is the inscription, "half dollar." The reverse design has remained unchanged since 1964, symbolizing the strength and unity of the nation. In 1971, the coin switched from its previous silver composition to a copper-nickel clad metal. The coin's weight remained the same as before, at 11.5 grams, and its diameter was 30.6 millimeters. The introduction of the copper-nickel clad composition made the coin less expensive to produce and marked a shift in U.S. coinage, as the mint moved away from silver for circulating coins. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar is particularly significant because it represents the first year that the U.S. Mint issued the coin in a composition made entirely of copper and nickel. Prior to 1971, the half dollar contained 40% silver, but rising silver prices and concerns about the cost of minting silver coins led to the complete removal of silver from all regular issue circulating coins. In 1971, the U.S. Mint replaced the half dollar's previous composition with a copper-nickel clad metal, which consisted of an inner core of pure copper and an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This change resulted in a coin that was far less valuable in terms of raw materials, but retained the same appearance, size, and weight. The shift to clad coins was part of a broader movement away from precious metals in U.S. coinage, which would continue with the reduction of silver content in other coins, such as the quarter and dime. This shift was a response to inflationary pressures and the increasing cost of silver. The mint's move to clad coinage also reflected the growing trend of reducing reliance on precious metals in the production of coins globally. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar is not considered a rare coin, as it was minted in large numbers. In fact, over 125 million 1971 Kennedy half dollars were struck in total, with the majority being minted in Philadelphia and Denver. There were two primary versions of the coin produced in 1971, one with a D mint mark, indicating it was struck in Denver, and one with no mint mark, which was struck in Philadelphia. The coin's wide circulation meant that it did not become a collector's item during its early years, and it was often used in everyday transactions. However, The coin has become a popular collectible for those interested in U.S. coinage and President Kennedy's legacy. Coins in uncirculated condition, or those with special minting errors, may command a premium price in the numismatic market. In 1971, the U.S. Mint also began producing proof versions of the Kennedy half-dollar, which were sold directly to collectors. Proof coins are struck with specially polished dies and have a mirror-like finish, making them more desirable to collectors. These proof coins are often sold at a higher price than their circulating counterparts and are typically found in sets, such as the annual proof sets produced by the Mint. While the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar was not an immediate success in terms of popularity for everyday use, it played an important role in the broader context of U.S. coinage during the 1970s. By the time the 1971 coin was released, the U.S. Mint had already begun facing challenges related to coin production. The nation was experiencing high inflation, which led to the introduction of new coin designs and the reduction of silver content in many denominations. The shift to clad coinage was not just a cost-saving measure. It reflected broader economic trends and the desire to maintain the integrity of U.S. currency while adapting to changing circumstances. The Kennedy half-dollar's transition to a non-silver composition was part of the Mint's broader strategy to keep coin production economically feasible during a period of inflation and rising material costs. The Kennedy half-dollar remains an important symbol in U.S. coinage, not just because of its connection to President John F. Kennedy, but also for its role in the evolution of the U.S. Mint. The 1971 coin, in particular, represents a major milestone in the history of U.S. coinage, as it marks the shift to non-silver, clad coinage. The Kennedy half-dollar has continued to be produced by the U.S. Mint through various years, including for collector sets, but it has not been widely circulated for everyday transactions since the 1970s. Over time, the Kennedy half-dollar has become a beloved piece of American numismatic history. The coin's continued production for collectors and the occasional special commemorative issue ensures its lasting place in U.S. coinage. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, as one of the first to be made of a copper-nickel clad composition, serves as a reminder of a pivotal moment in American history and coinage. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar is more than just a piece of currency. It is a symbol of the changing landscape of U.S. coinage in the 20th century. With its distinctive design honoring President John F. Kennedy and its transition to a copper-nickel clad composition, the coin holds a unique place in the history of American currency. While it may not be as widely circulated today, it remains a cherished item for collectors and historians alike, representing a key moment in the nation's economic and cultural history. The 1994 United States dime is a part of the ongoing series of dimes minted by the United States Mint. While the coin itself appears small in value, its history and the design elements embedded in it reflect significant aspects of U.S. history, culture, and geography. Below is an extensive overview of the 1994 dime, including its introduction, design, historical context, and other relevant details. The dime is a coin that represents 10 cents in U.S. currency. The term dime comes from the Old French word dime, which means tithe or a tenth part, reflecting the coin's value. The dime is one of the smallest denomination coins in the U.S. currency system, and it plays an essential role in everyday transactions. The U.S. Mint has produced dimes since the Coinage Act of 1792, which established the U.S. Mint and authorized the minting of various coins, including the dime. Over time, the dime has undergone several design changes, with the most famous being the transition from the barber dime, introduced in the late 1800s, to the Mercury dime in the early 20th century, and later to the Roosevelt dime in 1946. The 1994 dime falls under the Roosevelt dime series, which has been the standard dime design since 1946. The Roosevelt dime is notable for its portrayal of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945 and was widely admired for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The 1994 dime was minted during a period of economic stability and growth in the United States. The U.S. economy was emerging from a recession that began in the early 1990s, and by the mid-1990s, the country was experiencing one of the longest periods of economic expansion in its history. Under President Bill Clinton's administration, the country saw robust economic growth, low unemployment, and rising stock markets. In 1994, the U.S. also experienced political shifts, with the Republican Party gaining control of the House of Representatives and the Senate for the first time in 40 years. This shift in political power brought changes to domestic policy and legislation, although it did not directly impact the design or production of coins. The production of the 1994 dime, like other U.S. coins at the time, was overseen by the United States Mint, which continued to focus on maintaining a steady supply of coins to meet the demands of the economy. The dime itself was, and still is, commonly used for small transactions, especially in vending machines, parking meters, and other coin-operated devices. The design of the 1994 dime follows the long-standing tradition of the Roosevelt dime, which has been in circulation since 1946. The Roosevelt dime was designed by artist John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. Sinek's design was chosen by President Harry S. Truman to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945. Roosevelt had been a key figure in shaping modern America, and the decision to feature his likeness on the dime was both a tribute to his leadership and his role in establishing the March of Dimes, an organization aimed at fighting polio. The front obverse of the 1994 dime features a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. The inscription Liberty appears at the top, with "In God We Trust" below Roosevelt's image. To the right of Roosevelt's portrait is the year 1994, indicating the year the coin was minted. The mint mark, indicating which U.S. mint facility produced the coin, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, can also be found on this side. On the reverse side, back, of the 1994 dime is a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing unity, peace, and strength, respectively. The inscription United States of America arches along the top, and E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one, is inscribed along the bottom. The denomination 1 dime appears just below the branches. The design of the Roosevelt dime has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1946, except for minor modifications to details like the size of the lettering and the positioning of elements. The simplicity and symbolism of the coin make it one of the most recognizable pieces of U.S. currency. The production of the 1994 dime took place at multiple U.S. mint facilities. The primary minting locations for U.S. coins are Philadelphia Mint. This is the main minting facility responsible for producing the majority of U.S. coins, including dimes. It also handles the production of proof coinage, which is minted for collectors. Denver Mint, another major minting facility, where dimes are produced. The Denver Mint also plays a critical role in the production of coinage for circulation. San Francisco Mint. While historically significant in producing coins, the San Francisco Mint is now primarily a location for proof coin production. The 1994 dime, like other coins from the period, was made from a clad composition. The dime is composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, giving it a distinctive appearance with a copper-colored core and a silvery outer layer. The 1994 dime represents a minor but significant part of the U.S. coinage system. While its face value of 10 cents is low, it remains essential for daily transactions. Dimes are often used in combination with other coins to make precise payments, such as in vending machines, parking meters, and for tipping. In the 1990s, the U.S. economy was transitioning into a new digital age, with the rise of credit cards, debit cards, and electronic payments. Despite this shift, coins like the dime continued to play an essential role in small transactions and everyday commerce. The 1994 dime also marked a period of relative coinage stability in terms of design, as no major redesigns took place for the dime until the 2000s. For coin collectors, the 1994 dime holds historical value as part of the Roosevelt dime series. While it is still in circulation today, uncirculated or well-preserved examples from 1994 can be valuable to numismatists. Collectors often seek out coins in higher grades, such as MS 65 or above, for their value in the marketplace. Additionally, proof versions of the 1994 dime, which were specially struck for collectors with a higher level of detail, are also sought after. These proof coins were minted at the U.S. Mint's facility in San Francisco and feature a mirror-like finish that distinguishes them from regular circulation condition. The 1994 U.S. dime is a small yet historically significant piece of currency that embodies the continuity of the U.S. Mint's operations and the enduring design of the Roosevelt dime. With its tribute to Franklin D. Roosevelt, its symbolic reverse, and its role in the U.S. economy, the 1994 dime serves as a testament to the country's history and the ongoing tradition of coinage. Though it may be overlooked in daily transactions, the 1994 dime, like its predecessors and successors, is a reminder of the enduring symbols and values that have shaped the nation. For collectors and those interested in U.S. history and currency, the Roosevelt dime is an iconic piece of the nation's coinage legacy. The 2010 James Buchanan Presidential $1 coin is part of the U.S. Mint's Presidential $1 coin program, which honored each U.S. president in the order of their terms of service, beginning with George Washington in 2007. The 2010 coin features James Buchanan, the 15th President of the United States, and was released as the 15th coin in the series. Below is a detailed history and geographical context related to the coin's design, significance, and the life of James Buchanan himself. The Presidential $1 coin program was authorized by the Presidential $1 Coin Act of 2005. The program's purpose was to honor each president with a series of $1 coins, beginning with George Washington. The coins were issued in the order in which presidents served, with each coin featuring a portrait of the president on the obverse, front, and a reverse that features a depiction of the Statue of Liberty. The program aimed to stimulate coin collecting, as well as to circulate dollar coins more widely. Despite these goals, the program faced challenges, including low public acceptance of the dollar coin, limited circulation, and the fact that paper currency continued to dominate everyday transactions in the U.S. The 2010 release was particularly significant as it included coins for several presidents, including Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, and James Buchanan. James Buchanan was born on April 23, 1791, in Cove Gap, Pennsylvania. He served as the 15th President of the United States from 1857 to 1861, making him the last president before the American Civil War. Buchanan's presidency was marked by political polarization, and his failure to address the rising tensions between North and South played a significant role in the events that led to the Civil War. Buchanan's presidency is often considered one of the least effective in U.S. history. His inability to prevent the secession of Southern states and his indecisiveness during the secession crisis earned him much criticism. His policies were largely seen as ineffective in addressing the economic and social divisions that ultimately led to the Civil War. Buchanan's personal and political life, as well as his legacy, remain subjects of historical debate. Buchanan was a member of the Democratic Party, and before his presidency, he had a distinguished career, including serving as a U.S. Senator, ambassador to Russia, and Secretary of State under President James K. Polk. He was the only U.S. president who never married and spent much of his life as a bachelor. The design of the 2010 James Buchanan $1 coin follows the format established by the Presidential $1 coin program. The obverse features a portrait of James Buchanan, designed by engraver Don Everhart. This design is based on a portrait of Buchanan created by artist George Peter Alexander Healy in 1859, which is housed in the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. Buchanan is shown facing to the left, with the inscription James Buchanan and 15th President surrounding his likeness. Additionally, the mint year, 2010, and the mint mark, either D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, are also displayed. The reverse of the coin features the Statue of Liberty, as has been the case for all coins in the Presidential $1 coin program. The reverse also includes the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $1, signifying the denomination of the coin. The coin's edge has the inscriptions In God We Trust, and the edge is also uniquely inked with the year of minting, the mint mark, and the motto. The James Buchanan Presidential $1 coin was officially released into circulation in 2010. As with other coins in the series, it was primarily intended for use in commerce, although it also attracted interest from collectors, especially those seeking to complete the full set of presidential coins. Despite the initial enthusiasm for the series, the $1 coin faced low demand from the public. The coins were not widely circulated, as Americans generally preferred paper currency over the dollar coin, which was seen as bulky and inconvenient for everyday use. The U.S. Mint had intended for the coins to be used in daily transactions, but by 2011, the U.S. government discontinued the production of new dollar coins for circulation after Congress made the decision to halt further minting of presidential coins for general circulation. This decision was largely based on the poor acceptance of the coins by the public and the high costs of minting and storing and used coins. James Buchanan's presidency remains controversial in U.S. history. He is often criticized for his inability to act decisively in the face of rising sectional tensions over issues like slavery, states' rights, and westward expansion. Buchanan's failure to take strong action against the secession of Southern states after the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860 is viewed by many historians as a major failure that helped precipitate the Civil War. Buchanan's legacy has evolved over time, with some historians revisiting his presidency in the context of the political climate of the 1850s. Though his policies were generally seen as weak and ineffective, some scholars argue that Buchanan's indecisiveness was not the sole cause of the nation's slide into war. The 2010 coin featuring Buchanan serves as a reminder of his complicated legacy, reflecting both his contributions to the country as well as his failures in guiding the nation through one of its most divisive periods. James Buchanan's presidency took place during a time of increasing sectionalism in the United States. The country was divided over the issue of slavery, with northern states generally opposed to its expansion into the new territories of the West, while southern states sought to protect and expand the institution. Buchanan's presidency also coincided with the economic panic of 1857, a nationwide depression that further strained relations between the North and South. This financial crisis exacerbated existing tensions and added to the sense of instability that characterized Buchanan's final years in office. Buchanan's decision to allow the states of the South to secede from the Union was a major turning point in American history. His administration did little to prevent the dissolution of the Union, and this failure to act decisively left Abraham Lincoln to confront the beginning of the Civil War in 1861. The 2010 James Buchanan $1 coin serves as a tangible reminder of the 15th president's complex legacy. While the coin may not have been widely circulated, it remains an important artifact in the history of U.S. coinage and a reflection of Buchanan's place in American history. The coin, part of the broader presidential $1 coin program, represents both the achievements and failures of Buchanan's presidency, offering an opportunity for modern Americans to reflect on the challenges faced by the nation in the years leading up to the Civil War. In the end, the 2010 James Buchanan coin is more than just a piece of currency. It is a reminder of a president who struggled with the deep divisions within the country and ultimately failed to prevent the country from heading into the most devastating conflict in its history.